Joey Salvia here with episode 76. Now that Gregg chauffeured Vic Henley from New York to New Jersey, where Vic can open for fellow comedian and friend Ron White, we'll check in with the boys backstage. But first, let's go to New England for a quick hit from one of our good pals at 888-505-OPIE.
Hey guys, it's Creamy Butters calling from New England, home of the New England Patriots. Yes, so the team's going to the Super Bowl yet again. Not even something to brag about anymore. It's just something that happens. I'm very, very grateful. I'm not trying to rub it in anybody's face. I know that they have, as Mike Sappo can tell you, they can lose just as easy as the Patriots can win. Fuck the Giants. Fuck the Eagles. Fuck the NFC East. It just seems like a couple of months ago, I was watching the Red Sox victory parade from a hospital bed, which I was. So it's a fucking embarrassment of riches. It's really all I wanted to say. I hope the Patriots win. It's going to be a great fucking Super Bowl either way. And I really, really hope that Carl comes up with some cool appetizers to teach me how to cook on the show. All right, buddies. You guys are still kicking ass. This fucking Vic Henley shit is awesome. More Vic talking music. Later, boys.
It's the OpieRadio podcast.
We are in the green room at the State Theater in New Jersey, and I'm hanging with Vic Henley, who's opening up for Ron White. And Vic just got off stage, and Vic just crushed it.
You're too kind.
I usually see you in a small club in New York City. You're working on material. You're doing crowd work. You're fucking around, still getting laughs. Don't get me wrong. But this is the first time I've seen you in a theater setting, and your energy and your rhythm was unbelievable, and you fucking crushed it.
Oh, you're too kind. It's easy. They came to see comedy, 1,500 of them. They don't come to not have fun, just like anybody goes to a club.
Yeah.
And so and it's so dark, you can't really do crowd work or anything. And then Ron doesn't really like a lot of that because you don't want to get them rowdy.
Yeah, yeah.
He wants them to listen to the jokes. And so I've got different sets that I do in different states. I had to do a whole bunch of Jersey stuff tonight, which was really fun.
I heard the old left turn joke.
Yes. Oh, I didn't say they were gold.
No, it got a huge response.
It always works, right? You feel a little cheesy sometimes, but
being a fan and a veteran of these clubs and you comics,
sure.
That's a go-to joke that kills every time.
Well,
basically, in Jersey, you can't make a left fucking turn.
Part of my joke is everyone has a brother that's related to the mob, so they're all in the concrete business.
Right.
And they put these concrete barriers in the middle of state highways.
Yeah.
Everywhere you want to go, you just can't run right down here and turn left. You have
Right.
to. So that created a problem where they have to invent something called the Jug Handle.
Yeah.
Which is basically always 30 miles past where you're supposed to be.
Of course.
So your hotel's on the left. No, you're 30 more miles down this way.
No, you got to go at least another 5 miles. Then you can finally make your right turn to make the left
Yes.
turn to head back to your hotel.
And it's always a curly Q. And it's always to the right, and then you curly Q, and you go back around to go back to the left.
You ever wonder about stuff like that? Like someone back in the day was really fucking angry
Yes.
and said, no, this is how we're going to do it. And it caught on.
I read one time that of the top 10 states, and this is a good stat, of the top 10 states that spend the most amount of money on their highways and roads and keeping them good.
Yeah.
Usually if you spend the most money and you're on the top 10 list, you also make the best 10 list of the best highways and roads in America.
Right.
There's a direct correlation. New Jersey is the only state that makes the top 10 list for spending and upkeep and has never been close to being on the other list of good roads and highways. Because it's just all going into somebody's pocket. It's
Right.
it's been sometimes they rest a whole town down here. You know some of those stories.
Oh, yeah. And it's a running joke with me and my wife. Every time I go to Jersey, because I got family in Jersey,
Sure.
I get lost every single time. I mean, all the signs are there, but I don't know what happens in my head when I drive in Jersey.
They also do, and it's hacky too, but they do it. They put the sign on the exit.
That's what it is.
You have no time to react.
Right.
You look up and you go, what'd that sign say? Sign says you're fucked. You missed it.
Yeah, exactly. I think you finally figured it out. It's like in other states, that sign is a little before where you actually have to turn. So
well, that's a standard, believe me.
Me and Vic Henley drove down from Manhattan. I hope you listened to the last episode of the podcast. That one fucking was fun, man.
That was so easy.
And then we got here. We checked into your hotel. Then you're like, yo, Ron White just texted me. He wants to say hi. So we went on that tour bus of his, and god damn, that's the way to do it.
The #1 tequila tour bus.
Right, right.
And yeah, man.
And what's the story of that tour bus? What's his name?
Pat McCollum, who's the tour manager, he owns a company called Nashville Coach.
Okay.
They build tour buses.
Right.
And so the key to a good tour bus isn't like an RV.
Yeah.
You got to have a bus frame.
Right.
You got to have a frame, or otherwise a regular RV sometimes doesn't have a whatever you call it. I don't know if it's Coachman, but it's
Right. Okay.
the same thing as a Greyhound bus.
Yeah.
So these Rockstar tour buses have to have that same suspension, or you just kind of have a glorified RV,
Right.
which are still really nice, but it ain't nearly as nice as this.
Right.
And we got the extender where he pushes the button and it extends out. And well, yeah, it was really good. He got you right on the tequila as soon as we walked in the door. Well, you mentioned you walked in and you go, dude, I love that tequila. I can't get it at my local liquor store. And he goes, have one now.
He was pissed off.
Yes, he did not enjoy hearing that.
It's called Juan.
#1
tequila, the Ron White tequila. The brown.
Extra añejo.
Is that what that is?
You all start with the same one. The Blanco is...
The Blanco's nice, but that other one is... The taste of that is fantastic.
Reposado is the middle one, and it means rested just a little.
Right.
Extra añejo has been 3 years in old bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
So it has
that's
that
the
smooth...
key when it ages in the bourbon barrels.
Because the first time I had it, I thought I was like a weirdo, and I'm going...
Doesn't taste like tequila, right?
And I felt like a wine snob because I'm going, I'm getting hints of vanilla.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, they're about to can't come down on me really hard for,
I used to be one of those wine snobs. When I got fired back in 2002, I would travel the country, and I got into wine big time.
Sure.
Big time. And I would be in these like fancy vineyards in Northern California and stuff at these tastings, and I would just guess. I'm like, I'm tasting chocolate. And they would be like, good, yes, you are. Yeah. Wow, you got a good palate. And I think some berries, blackberry,
currant,
right? Yeah, black.
Currant in black currant.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I've told the wine story many times, but there's a wine store on Columbus Avenue and around 65th Street, and I forgot the name of it. It's a big time wine snob store. So I went in there to get my Silver Oak or Duckhorn. Those were my two go-to bottles.
I know that one.
I go in there and I look at this lady and I go, so I want a bottle. I think it was Duckhorn. I go, I want a Duckhorn Cabernet. She looks at me like, you stupid fuck, follow me. And I'm like, what's going on? She takes me all the way upstairs and she shows me these wines I've never heard of before in my life. She goes, that and that is your Duckhorn. I'm like, it doesn't say Duckhorn on the label. She goes, let me explain something to you, which I thought was amazing.
Yes, I've heard of this a little.
I thought it was amazing. She goes, this wine and that wine is as good as Duckhorn. The price, you see it for yourself. It's $20 a bottle. A Duckhorn bottle was it was pushing $100.
I was going to say 80.
$80 to $100 in the wine stores. She goes, the only reason people don't buy these because of marketing. They don't know that these are good. But they're just as good. And I brought them home, and I never looked back. I'm like, wow, the wine game is pretty fucking...
Well, same thing with the tequila game. This is really good tequila. I can't believe more people don't know about it nationally, you know. But it's damn tasty.
I could honestly tell you that we had a glass or two of tequila on Ron White's bus. That could have been the best tequila I've ever had.
It's smooth, man. And Mustard, you got to meet Mustard, the French Bulldog.
Well, Ron White, so we get on the bus, and Ron White... it made me very happy because he was very happy to see me. He gave me a big hug, and then the beers and the tequila came right out. Although he was already on his way. What can we talk about?
I think I think the first beer he had was when you asked him for a beer.
Yeah.
So, but he was nursing a little tequila at that point.
I liked his homemade bong.
Oh, yeah, I saw there was a Fiji bottle.
That was pretty impressive.
It obviously is some sort of, you buy one part of the apparatus and then it just plugs into any water bottle that's available.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed.
No, I did a double take. I'm like, where did he get a Fiji bong?
Right. I felt like I was back at my fraternity house.
A lot of ingenuity.
Right.
Hillbilly ingenuity, that's for damn sure.
And then he's in the middle of telling one great story after another, and then... his dog started letting out nuggets, and you jumped into action.
Well, I'm a cleaner anyway.
Not only the opener, he also cleans up
I
dog
also
poo.
pick up Mustard's poop. I'm not proud. We fold clothes. We all chime in here together. It's whatever it takes.
And I noticed, like, Ron's like, what the fuck? You're fucking up my timing of the story.
Oh,
But
I know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't just let him make a mess, but I was interrupting the story.
It was so fascinating to watch because Ron's in the zone. You jump up like, oh my God, this dog's about to shit all over your bus.
Right. Back there in his bedroom mainly was mine.
Yeah. No, you did the right thing, but it was such a weird thing that was happening there. So
Old Mustard.
yeah.
He's a good dog. He was trying to get you to play. You did the total, because when he picks up the toy and he just holds it on your foot.
Yeah.
And you were sitting there, and he kept doing it. And you the only way to get him to stop is just completely ignore him, and then he'll go over to somebody else and put it on their foot. And you did a perfect job. He stood there, and he was hitting you with it, and you didn't know. You just kept talking to Ron. We were all laughing.
I knew.
I saw you, and I almost went, give him a second, play with him. But then you can't get rid of him. Then you're in a 3-hour dog fun.
I am deathly allergic to dogs.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes. But I didn't want to tell Ron that. So this dog is rubbing up against my leg.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
That's his move. That's his go-to move.
Like I'm sniffly just by being in the bus with the dog. So in my building, everyone goes in the elevator with their dogs, and if that dog brushes up against me, I'm done. I'll start sneezing like a lunatic. So
Mustard might be hypoallergenic. I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
He doesn't shed though.
And how did he describe his dog on that Netflix
He
special?
said it's something like a
pug.
No, not
it's
a pug.
like a bulldog.
Fucked a fruit bat.
Yeah.
It's the joke. I think dog is a French bulldog.
It's a perfect way to describe that dog, though.
But I love it. And at the meeting, Greg, you'll see a little later, someone always asking him about Sluggo.
Yeah.
And Sluggo's his dog from 30. He goes, well, Sluggo'd be 32.
Really?
He would be. No, but some dumbass that doesn't realize they've seen the first Ron special, or maybe saw him on Showtime.
Right.
In like 1989 or something. And he used to talk about Sluggo a lot in his act. And it'll almost, depending on the mood he's in, he usually just goes with the standard jokes about, well, he's dead, and that was 30 years ago, or 28. But then sometimes he'll get a little choked up, depending on, whatever. Well, it's like Carl with, don't bring the dog up with Carl.
Yeah, but with Carl, that's a recent thing.
Yeah, that's true. And
that
dog's still alive.
But he just can't see the dog anymore because his ex has it. But a dog from 30 years ago. I guess if we talked about my dog Fresca.
Really?
Yeah, we named our dogs after soda.
Did you have another one?
You want to know all of them?
Seriously, is this true?
We actually started with Shasta.
Oh, I like
that was before my time, sort of. My first dog that I remember is Fresca.
Okay.
And then when Fresca went to the vet for minor surgery and then came home dead.
Oh, God.
He had tumors, and they thought they could take care of it. And next thing you know, we're all excited to get Fresca out of the vet. And, Fresca didn't come home. Then we got Sprite.
You're not joking. This is true. Who's coming up with this? Is it your
Probably my mom.
Your mom?
I don't know. Maybe it was us. I don't know.
Your perfectly normal mother naming all the pets after sodas.
But the thing with our family, when we lost a pet, no time to mourn. Their philosophy was get a goddamn puppy immediately.
Oh, just replace immediately.
Yeah, so like Sprite was frozen cold on in the vestibule one morning, and the next day we had a brand new dog, but I forgot the name of that one.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh my God, I forgot the name of the last one. I'm gonna have to text one of my brothers, but yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Why?
That's just odd. That's a very white trash thing, I think. Just to get a theme and stick with it. Always get a new one immediately, and then stick with the same name theme.
Well, and we lived on a very busy road, so it was kind of like a house of horror as far as our pets go, because we lived on a busy road with 7 kids, right? No fence.
Oh, God.
And a basketball court in the driveway, so the basketball would hit off the rock wall and go into the road.
Sure.
And we're just little kids getting our balls out of the fucking road that has crazy-ass traffic. Yes! And we would lose it. Are we being too loud? I'm sorry. Oh, my God, we're being too loud.
Oh, you didn't know we were in here. You came. Most people come out of the closet. You came in here to go into the closet.
You're going into the closet.
No, we're teasing
go into the closet.
No.
And what happened to your leg, by the way? Say hi.
Fractured my foot. Hello.
How'd you fracture your foot? We're podcasting.
We're podcasting.
Oh, jeez.
You don't want to tell us how you fractured your foot? Quick.
It's not exciting. I fell down 2 steps.
All right.
Was it dark? Were you drinking?
No, I was carrying a car cover.
Okay.
All right. You're right. It wasn't exciting. All right. Carry on. I tried, though.
It was. I wish I could give you something more exciting.
It's okay. We love the State Theater, by the way.
Yes, it's a great venue.
Perfect venue. There you go. She's hopping out of the green
Got
room.
the walking boots.
Right. But they didn't believe in fences.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're lucky we didn't lose a kid, for real, because between all of us and then our friends coming over left and right, I'm amazed. You know, we'd play wiffle ball, and you know, you're hitting it into the street, and nuts.
I'm wondering if we should go on the bus.
You want it?
Sometimes I go on the bus and check on Mustard just to make sure.
Let's go check on
I
Mustard.
think he's all right.
All right, let's do that. You want to? Where's your coat?
Let me get my coat. Yeah, hang on.
All right. We're leaving Ron White's green room, which is gorgeous. That he obviously doesn't use because he's got the tour bus parked outside the State Theater. So, all right, we're walking out of the State Theater.
I'm gonna go back here and get the bus.
Ron is still on stage, crushing it. Ron's having a good set.
Oh, it's so much. One of the foolish. This is sort of silly, but you never, even if the crowd's bad, when he brings you ever who's opening, he says, "How about another hand?" And then we run back out there and we take a quick bow.
Yes.
And you kind of give him a little hug.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he'll go, "How are they?" If he hadn't been watching or listening.
Yeah.
Well, even if they suck, you never say they suck.
Right.
You're supposed to lie as the opener goes, "They're great." You just pat him on the back and you keep walking.
Of course.
So Alex Raimondo, his brother-in-law, who's a comic and a pro and who should know better than this, one night a few months ago, he didn't like them. And so he just let it slip his mind. So he leans in and Ron goes, "How are they?" He goes, "They fucking suck." And Ron didn't like it at all. He told him the next time, he's like, "God damn it, just lie to me in the future.
Right.
You don't want to start the show by telling me, oh, have fun for the next hour with these dumbasses."
Right.
They aren't going to like anything.
Of course you got to lie.
So, but Alex was so mad he forgot.
That's funny.
Let me get the key.
Oh, all right. Now I know the
code.
I know the code to get on Ron White's bus.
It hasn't changed in years.
All right, good. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you would think that it would be a little more complicated than that. Walking onto Ron White's bus. Oh my God, the smell on this bus.
Oh, here's Dave Little.
What's up, Dave Little?
We're podcasting, Dave Little.
You want to say hi, Dave Little?
Hi, Dave. Dave is a comedian from Dallas, Texas, who I've also known for at least 30 years.
I don't think 30. 20? I don't. Is it okay for Vic to be wrong in this podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Everybody that listens to it knows I'm constantly
Are we doing yes and? Yeah, yes, and it's been great? Question mark?
How long have you known Vic?
Probably 20 for sure. I know we worked together a long time. One of my favorite memories.
Yeah, I want
Vic.
a good Vic Henley story.
Well, I don't know if you know he has brothers that played football at Auburn.
Of course.
Yeah, he
I
brings
don't
that
think
up every.
I don't think there's a person alive that doesn't know that.
I think we working in Chicago at one of the Funny Bones, maybe Naperville or Schaumburg.
Suburbs.
And I know we walked to a mall once, and it was about a mile walk, and man, I learned everything I needed to know about Vic. and less.
First day.
First day?
10 minutes. All it took was the walk to the mall and back.
Yeah.
And he knows everything you ever need to know about him.
The only opening you need with Vic is to go, "Hey." And all of a sudden, you're best friends.
Right.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, you might be able to talk again.
An hour if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, sometimes he'll come home with you. Hey, honey, guess who's here? Is it Henley again? Yeah, but not the good one. It's not Terry or Mike. No, it's Vic.
It's Vic.
It's Vic. Yeah.
Damn.
I love Vic, and I'm not ashamed to say it to the two listeners.
Dennis is the bus driver, Dennis Thigpen.
Aren't you supposed to be sleeping, Dennis?
How you doing, man? I'm gonna be sleeping at probably the same time you are tonight.
Okay. No,
we drive tomorrow about 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I know you guys got an easy ride, but that's the thing about, like, if I was
most of the time bus driver's sleeping during the show.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. Because,
He just giving us a break than that.
Right. See, I can't sleep on a bus because I just assume in my head I'm thinking that the bus driver's asleep and now we're careening over the side of a fucking mountain. I have problems, bro.
A few times I felt the same way myself, But
you just got to figure it out. So while he's doing his thing, you're sleeping because in the middle of the night you guys are driving, right?
oh yeah, we kind of get accustomed to it. You
Right.
know? It's we drive a lot of miles.
Yeah, no, you're a professional. I just know I wouldn't be able to sleep, man.
we laugh and carry on. By the time we finish, we're all pretty tired.
Right.
So it's easy for us to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then when he's got a long drive, he monitors himself correctly.
Yeah, no, I would imagine he does. I think it goes back to when I was going to Geneseo College. I fell asleep in the back seat while they were driving me on icy roads to Geneseo, and my dad didn't handle the road properly, so we did a 360 into the ditch.
Right.
Well, that could be bad.
Huh?
That could be bad.
Yeah. And so I woke up horrified. My mom's screaming bloody murder, right? She looks at me in the back seat and she goes, "Man, Greg, you look like shit." And I go, "I thought we were going over the side of a mountain. Of course I look like shit right now." And then we were able to push the car out, and I think that's the reason why I can't sleep in cars or buses or planes, none of that.
This couch right here, I've not even gotten in the bunk before. I've just laid right. This is a great couch.
I would
I've
imagine.
dozed off right here a million times over.
Yeah.
Pat likes to sleep on here too.
Yeah, this bus is gorgeous, by the way. Custom made, obviously.
It's, Pat's the one who done it.
Yeah, Pat.
Yeah, I know.
Tour manager, Pat's the one who done it.
Yeah.
He done a good job at it.
Yeah.
Didn't they? What happened with the? I wasn't here, but Dennis and Ron. It was just the two of y'all, and a hydraulic, a hose or something came off, and they were out there trying to fix
Oh
it.
gosh.
And
Yeah.
well, it just involved the line. What was it?
Man, he caught me off guard.
They needed lube.
Yeah, I told him to give me some Vaseline. I needed something. Get this thing down in this hole. And he had what was that?
He had lube. He had lube.
He had actual lube.
Yeah, he had lube.
Wait, you
And that's
fixed
what
the
he
tour
get.
bus with
I
lube?
put something on my finger. That's the only thing I can get in there. And he just put a gob on my little finger.
We showed up a couple days
Yeah,
later.
I forgot about
because
that.
If
That's
you would
what
have rolled
happened.
up, if anybody would have been eavesdropping, all they were seeing was two middle-aged men going, "I need more lube on my pinky."
I was up in the motor, and the only thing I did, I pulled my hand out, put some on a little finger.
Oh my God.
And man, he something. That was funny, though.
Sounds like you guys have a good time, man.
Mustard.
I
Yeah.
was singing and dancing. We
Yeah.
played the music so loud one night. These speakers that are mounted in the ceiling, Ron actually blew one of them down.
Oh, I can imagine.
And Pat fixed it immediately.
Right.
but it gets loud, and we drink tequila and sing songs.
And there's Mustard over there. Mustard was shitting on the floor earlier.
He tried to. I caught him.
Oh, he got a nugget out.
Seemed like he's feeling all that good.
We played with him a lot before the show started. We were out here a fair amount.
might be right.
I gave him a good old, he tried to force Opie into playing, and he wouldn't have it.
Well,
allergic.
I'm very allergic to dogs and apples, if you need to know.
Apples?
Yeah.
Apples and dogs.
Apples and dogs.
And
Have a weird combo.
well, I finally went to an allergist, and I go, all right, so what am I allergic to? Because I had problems for years until I
We
figured
got
it
some
out.
of Dave's bananas
And,
over here.
There you go. And then the allergist goes, "You're allergic to trees and grass." I'm like, "Okay, what kind of trees and grass?" He goes,
All of it.
"Did you hear me? You're allergic to trees and grass." So you know how I love Central Park? I can't lay in the fucking grass. So I got to just walk on the concrete.
So we're in the middle of Dave's little son, got a scholarship to Alabama.
Really?
I'm between two Alabama fuckers.
Hey, he's an Alabama fucker.
We keep it classy. And you can't blame. You can't claim. Well, yeah, I can't blame anyone. Your son gets a scholarship. I don't care where it is.
A scholarship for what?
Full ride.
Academics.
Actually, made good
Beautiful.
Which means he just knew numbers for Alabama. But that's all right.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, he knew all his numbers and most of his letters.
All right, there you go. As long as you don't have to pay for the college.
No, well, you have to pay for. I had to pay for a little bit, but
Yeah.
when your money goes there, you kind of root for him. So,
Yeah.
my oldest son went to Alabama. My youngest son went to Texas. So finally, they're kind of good. But the 4 years my oldest son went to Alabama, 2 national championships.
Right.
The 4 years my youngest son went to Texas, 4 wins. So that's pretty good. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, he said. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's
Are you
funny.
making a drink, Dennis? What are you having?
I had a little bit of that orange juice.
Oh,
in
no,
there.
you're not. Okay.
We got
Tequila.
I'm gonna have
Tequila's
some
up
tequila.
top.
you know we have some here.
I'll do a little.
And we got beer in the fridge.
Oh, I know. We were hanging out with Ron earlier.
He started early today.
It was fun.
What time did y'all
Yeah,
get
there
in?
was 2 bottles empty.
Yeah.
We were in last night.
Yeah.
So we spent like 4 hours at the mall. So
You ready to go to the mall today?
Yeah, we went to Elizabeth. I don't know. Elizabeth has a mall,
Right.
New Jersey. So it was great. It's got I don't know if you ever need luggage, go to that fucking mall, because every other store, I mean, even the Haagen-Dazs store sells luggage. I find odd. Really
Just a little tote bag.
Little tote bag.
It's a little overnighter.
Oh God, do I hate
Pat
malls?
bought some jeans. I bought some boots.
Show him these boots. He bought these killer Doc Martens
Well,
that have
hey,
the.
come back to my bunk.
Yeah, go follow Dave back to the
Well,
bunk.
okay, I guess I could do that. Look at
He's not trying to trap you.
No.
Look at these
Actually,
bunks.
I'm on the bottom bunk.
which one is Vic?
Vic is up here when I move his shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But look, these are Doc Martens. Like
Doc Martens for like $55.
They're really nice, man.
I mean, I only got one.
Right.
I only got one, but I think the other one is 107.
Is that the signing of the Declaration of Independence on the
Yes.
side of the shoe?
I don't know if. Yeah, these are our
Maybe.
four mothers.
Yeah, I see
right
that.
there.
That's
Nice,
gorgeous.
right?
That's perfect
Yeah,
for the
so that's
podcast. Nice visual for the podcast. Thanks, Vic.
They're
Thank
really
you.
good looking. They have some sort of Renaissance painting on the side.
I think it's the signing of the Declaration
Oh,
of
is it the
Independence.
signing of the Declaration?
Yeah, if you're
I'm
going to be in
guessing.
Elizabeth, New Jersey, it's good to have a sail.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's really the only way to spend. And there's some tequila right there.
Thank you,
so
Dave. I'm gonna
that's
pour.
some
I'm gonna pour
glasses, you know
one.
where the
I know where everything is,
All
Dave.
right.
Yes, absolutely.
Unfortunately, your work is over, and others.
Yes,
of us
you have.
to work.
Dave has stuff to do.
Yeah, so
Dave's got to handle the meet and greet. How many we got tonight, Dave?
we've got about 40.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
good.
Catch a little bit of that. We'll get some of that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We're gonna have
why not?
a little tequila now. Dave, nice talking to you,
We're spending
buddy.
the night here, and so who knows what'll happen?
All right.
Nothing.
When Dave Little's in charge, all we do is try to get him laid.
How's that working?
We're over. We're over.
Ofer.
Not we, me.
I love how you said we are Ofer. He's like, no, me. I'm Ofer. Just a little bit. I gotta drive. There you go. Yeah. Ooh. That is cheers, Vic, and congratulations on a great set.
Oh man, thanks so much.
For
Thanks
real, man.
Thanks
Your
for
energy was
taxiing
great.
me down.
Of course.
That was absolutely perfect.
Of course.
I'd have been on the train with all the savages, all the regular civilians. Ah, that is good.
Yep.
No, you can bring anybody on the bus you want. You can do it here. This is your green room. You
Beautiful.
You know, have a beer, get a drink,
And we just slammed the door of Ron White's tour bus.
and I'm locking it up.
You're locking it up. That's all it is,
There's a sound.
right?
You push the right two buttons, and it closes.
So you just have complete access to his bus when you're on tour with him?
Well, like I was telling you, he says it is his bus and everything, but whenever we're all working together, we've all been friends for so long, this is our green room. This is our mobile,
Right.
rolling, really nice, deluxe, super killer green room. And so everybody's encouraged to, you know, I can bring friends on. Me and you are on there. If he walked off the stage and saw me and you sitting there for 2 hours smoking his weed and drinking his liquor, he's like, I'm late. He would just be happy that we got to go have fun.
Right, right on,
Because like
man.
I said, that's what he calls it, his very, very nice green room.
What a fucking life, man.
And he doesn't even take the hotel room. Some of the gigs, especially like a casino, they just, you know, they'll volunteer you their nicest room.
Yeah.
And he just goes right back on the bus, and you can see why.
That bus is gorgeous.
He's got his own suite back there with a
Yeah.
full on. I said, a shower that a New Yorker would kill for in their apartment.
Absolutely. And he's got his golf clubs underneath, so if he's in a town that has a good golf course, he's playing golf during the day. I mean, you know, where you're sleeping is a little tight.
That is a little tight. The bunks are tight, but like any bunk bed.
Yeah.
But it's got its own. It's got its own video, audio, and heating and air conditioning.
Just
So-
like if you're on JetBlue, you get every
Yes,
channel as you're
yeah.
driving down the highway.
Absolutely. Totally. And so you just sit there, you hit that button, the little screen falls down. You sit there and make sure your temperature is good. And
Right.
just roll on
Hey,
down the
man.
highway, and the next thing you know, we wake up in a different town. Right?
Beautiful.
It's like getting FedExed as a human.
Right. You don't mind if we ride the elevator with you? Okay. All right. Cool. We're going up to 4. Yeah.
Did you lose somebody? It's easy to get lost in New Brunswick. Mentally and physically.
That's why you're a comedian. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right, guys.
Did you hear what she said?
No.
The funny part was that. Now this, I'm not being mean.
Okay.
How old do you think that woman was right there?
85.
Okay, and did you hear what she said to him? Where's Mama and Daddy?
What?
Yeah, so that must be her brother. And he said they didn't feel like walking right now. So I'm assuming when we leave here, we're going to pass to Opie. But this lady was that old and went, where's Mama and Daddy? So On our way out, we will see who Mama and Daddy is.
We might see two people that are over 100 years old.
This could be.
Wouldn't you guess she was like 80?
I'd say at least 75.
Yeah, I would say that.
Again, not in a disparaging way.
Right.
But just when I heard, "Where's Mama and Daddy?"
Or I don't want to
We passed it.
I don't want to make fun, but she might have the dementia too, though.
Okay, that could be, that was more of like one of those.
Right.
Where's Mama and Daddy?
Right.
Just saying it's one of those instead. All right. Fair enough. One of the jobs as the opening act is to make sure that there's at least one after-show joint ready at all times.
Oh, and that's your job.
Well, it's not, but sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. But I always check.
All right.
I've got one in my pocket just in case we're out.
And that's why we're back in your room to
That's
get
why
the.
I'm back in the room. Had to come back for the goodies.
Okay. Now we're getting the goodies. Just kind of wandering around with Vic Henley as he tours with Ron White. I'm going to leave, and you're going to jump in that tour bus and head to that next city, man.
Well, tonight we're going to roll. He'll try to get you to go to food with us later, I'm sure, if you don't have to get on the road. But I'm sure there'll be a little after food, and then a little after party.
Okay.
And then we sleep here tonight.
Okay.
And then wake up tomorrow. We don't leave tomorrow till about 11.
If he breaks out the edibles, then I got to call my wife.
They're coming. They're here. They're here somewhere. Yeah.
I'm staying in New Brunswick.
Have you had the blueberries? Those chocolate-covered blueberries?
I remember him talking about the blueberries
so
on the old radio show.
Yes. He even told his.
Well, edibles aren't supposed to be so good because that'll make you take more.
No, okay. Well, it's I like chocolate. It's hard for me to forget that they're not candy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you would get in a lot of trouble.
Exactly.
But I think even his mom admitted when she did the show
Yeah.
with us once that she's 85 and sometimes right before bedtime, and she thinks it might be a hard night to sleep.
Right.
Blueberry.
I see nothing wrong with that.
I think it's great.
I think the older you get, the more drugs you should get into.
Oh hell yeah!
Why not?
Yeah, that's why I always loved Alan Arkin's character in Little Miss Sunshine because he just decided to do heroin.
Yeah. But that's been the oldest bit forever, and they finally put it in a movie.
They finally put right.
Because I always
Yes.
said too, like by the time I hit 75. That's when I'm going to start my heroin addiction.
That was perfect. And
Why
then
not?
Oh, everybody had heard that. You're right, though.
Well,
He had
why
never,
not at that
I would
point,
think so.
right?
And I think he was also in the film. He'd been diagnosed with something.
Yeah. No, I know.
So it didn't really matter.
No, but I would just do it for recreational purposes.
All right, I'm good.
Yeah, but those edibles, man. Did you ever do mushrooms back in the day?
Oh, I did mushrooms with Ron 3-4 years ago in
I
Cleveland.
thought you were going to say 3 or 4 hours ago.
No, 3 or 4 years ago. But I didn't even know what we were doing. We were leaving. We went to see Dom Herrera.
Right.
We were doing a show at the State Theater in Cleveland, and we knew Dom was right around the corner.
Okay.
And he has like a 12 o'clock show. It's a Saturday night.
Yeah.
So I see Ron fooling around with something. I couldn't tell it. I thought, if you see somebody in a bag, I just assume it's weed.
Yeah.
And he's doing something, and I walk back there and go, what are you doing? All of a sudden, he just grabbed a handle and just stuck it right in my mouth, and I didn't even be asking. And, those are nasty. They don't really taste. And I was like, oh, give me a warning next time.
Yeah.
Give me a water or something.
No, that's why I was bringing it up, because with edibles, like you just said, they're too tasty, and you could easily do too much.
Yes.
You never do too
Never.
much of the mushrooms because they taste so horrible.
Ass.
I haven't done
Horrible.
that in easily 20 years. We used to take mushrooms and go to the jazz festival in Rochester.
That sounds wonderful.
It was amazing.
That sounds really
And
good.
we would put it in cheese sandwiches. We were so lame. We
Sure.
couldn't even pump up our sandwich. So the cheese with the mushrooms, it was terrible.
No, still never good.
And I remember just sort of tripping on the lawn up there in Rochester at a jazz festival, and I remember these people were talking, and I go to my friend. He doesn't want his name. He's
whatever.
He's very corporate these
Okay,
days. I just
all right.
protected myself.
There you go.
And
Good
I go,
save. Nice save. Kick, save, and a beauty.
yeah, I go, hey, tell those fucking guys to shut the fuck up, because they were loud, like really loud. He turns around and he goes, there's no one behind us. What I was hearing were, no joke, people that were way at the top of the hill, because it was a jazz festival. There wasn't a lot of people
it's like an
there
outdoor
at this point.
amphitheater kind of thing,
Yeah,
maybe.
but they were way up on the hill. I thought they were right behind
not in
me.
your mind.
No. And then I remember hearing individual raindrops
Oh, that's always.
hitting the blades of grass, and I'm like, oh wow! But it scared me too much. I didn't go down that.
That's the
road
last
too many
time I
times.
did it. It was fun. But then Ron, who's full on killing it. I go in and sit down on the side and get a drink at Hilarities in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Ron gets some owner to take him around to the back. So while Dom's on stage, Ron just walks out behind me. Onto the stage, and Dom doesn't know. You have to do a double take because Ron's a big fella,
Yeah,
and he's tripping on shrooms. I want to go back and say hello. We're like, he's on stage already. You say hello at the end. I want to do it now. Go right ahead. I'm sitting here. And so,
oh my God.
So he just walked out there with a tequila in hand,
right.
and you know, and Dom turns around, and all of a sudden, when Dom saw it was him, then they're like a big hug. And
Well, Dom is
he's a great guy.
veteran.
He's a champ and a
Yeah,
pro.
He can figure out all that stuff.
And so, but he's like, but he stood there. It took a few minutes before Dom finally had to go. All right, fucker, get out.
Right.
I've got another. I'm actually doing something here. You're off work now. I'm not.
It went from fun to
just go.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
go sit down. I got
Right.
another 30 minutes here.
Right.
We're not Laurel and Hardy. Ain't a goddamn double act, you know. And then we went out in the audience, and guess who was sitting there? Bobby Slayton.
Oh, really?
And his lovely wife, who passed. Yes,
yeah, I know.
but there they are. Same thing. We were at the State Theater. Ron and I were. Slayton was at one comedy club. He might have been at the Improv, and Dom was at Hilarities. And then we all, since we didn't have the late show, all great minds think alike. Let's go see Dom. He's a legend. You got to see Dom,
Of course.
And then, so then we showed up and had a blast and hung out on it.
I
That was my last mushroom.
I feel bad at the that my fans booed Dom Herrera in Philly.
Oh, was that part of the
Bill Burr
night?
thing?
Yeah, that same night.
They booed Dom Herrera.
They
then
booed-
they
right.
booed Jimmy Schubert or vice versa. And
Who's
then,
also fucking great.
yeah, and Brother Weeze to this day talks to me about it. I'm like, I think it's hilarious because I know those guys can handle it.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But our crowd back in the day, they weren't having it. If you weren't like a big part of the radio show, they just decided
To eat
fucking,
you alive.
Yeah, we're going to eat you alive, exactly. And then Bill Burr saw those two guys getting booed. And I've told this a
that's
few
all right.
times, but I was on the side of the stage, and I remember Bill Burr going, they ain't fucking doing that to me. And then the rest is history,
Yes,
man.
absolutely.
He turned that. They started booing him because Bill Burr wasn't a big part of the O&A audience yet. He was just coming up on the show. And long story short, they decide they're going to boo him as well. And Bill just
Went into the
attacked.
whole thing.
And by the time it was over, I like I said, I've told this a couple times now, but they gave him a standing ovation. Yeah. But Weeze to this day feels bad that Dom Herrera got booed. I'm like,
He's a legend.
He's a legend.
And it wouldn't bother him.
Of course, he's fucking funny, and you know, I think it's hilarious just because he was in that position for a night.
You don't see, that hardly ever. And again, especially if 1,000 shows, and this doesn't even happen but one, so you're 999 in one.
Yeah.
After this many years in the business, you know.
Yeah, of
and
course.
it's not going to bother you. He wouldn't care one bit. He was happy to see us. We hung out. It was a really good night. They kept the club open late for us. And
Oh, beautiful.
They ran everybody out, and then like the manager guy was making us all martinis and everything. We were all just hanging out. And even Slayton was in a good mood.
I love Slayton.
I do too. It was really.
Slayton's the man.
Somewhere in there, Ron ate more mushrooms than ever, but somewhere in the middle of the night, he thought Slayton had said something mean to me. And so for about just 90 seconds, I was like, I don't think you know who you're goddamn talking to. And Bobby's like, what? This is my goddamn, what the fuck? And Slayton goes, I love Henley, what are you talking? And Slayton immediately just repeated what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
And Ron goes, oh. That ain't what I thought you said. And then there was like a quick hug out, and then right back.
And that was it.
Yeah, they were right back. But for a second, he just caught a part of something and turned around and wait a goddamn second. I'm like, oh god.
Sounds like you guys have a great time on tour.
It's a lot of it's exhausting, but it's really fun. Your sides hurt from laughing. You get paid to hang out with your friends.
I know, it's ridiculous, right? All right, let's. We're back
See
to
if
the
we can
lobby.
find Mama and Daddy.
Yeah, I want to see if there's Mama and Daddy.
Daddy must have been there. He must have come down and got him somehow.
It's a very empty lobby
Yes, there's
here.
not a soul down here.
Now, where are we going? We're going back into the State Theater? Are we going back on the bus? What are
Either
we
one,
doing?
whatever you want to do.
I'm following you. I don't
He's
care.
got. Let me see what time it is. He's probably got another. There's a meet and greet after the show,
Right.
and the bus is right out front. Oh, okay. He'll be getting off soon, so we'll go over here,
Okay.
and then we'll hang in the green room here with him. Maybe get a little
Taste?
taste of the Tater Man.
All right.
Because he chills for a second while we get the meet and greet going.
Okay.
So
All right, we're going to head back into the State Theater. Joey, do some kind of, I don't know.
wrap it up.
No, it's not wrap it up.
Take us out. Quick break.
Do you get the idea that nobody's actually watching Ron White do his thing? That's my observation. But hey, we're podcasting. Greg, let's make a little cash-a-rooney to feed that gas guzzler of yours for your trip back home later.
Yay, I get to talk about Quip. If you know anything about me and Quip, I got a Quip electric toothbrush, before they started advertising on the OpieRadio podcast. And then it was a coincidence that they decided to advertise on the podcast. So I love these guys, and I love my Quip. I love the design of it. It's sleek. The carrying case is cool. You don't have a big plug where you have to plug in your electric toothbrush to charge it up. It has a just a one little AAA battery. That's it. And so you just change out the battery, and you're good to go. And for the ladies, I think you could get something done with this toothbrush. I don't know if they want me to talk about this, but you got to see the shape of it. It's really smooth, man. Really smooth, like the ocean has smoothed it just right for your pleasure. And the other cool thing about Quip is they give you new brush heads in the mail. And the other thing I really like about Quip is the fact that it times out your brushing. You know, most of us think that we're brushing our teeth for 2 minutes. Wrong. Maybe 30 to 45 seconds tops. But with this timer thing where every 30 seconds it pulsates, so you know you have to move it to another part of your mouth, you know, you got 4 30-second intervals. So, you do the math and figure out how you want to use your intervals. But this is what I want to say about Quip this time around. I went to the dentist, Mikey, and I usually get my teeth cleaned every 6 months. Older guy, I want to make sure I can keep my teeth.
Of course.
So I'm a little paranoid, so I go in for cleanings a little more frequently. So it's been a year, and they look at me like, you haven't been in here in like 13 months. I'm like, this is going to be a shit show. This is going to be horrible, right? I'm thinking I'm just going to be spitting up all sorts of, you know what you spit up when you get your teeth cleaned. So I was really worried about it. So long story short, after my cleaning, they look at me and they're like, what have you been doing differently? I thought it was going to be bad too. I'm like, it wasn't bad? They're like, not at all. The only thing that has changed since my last cleaning was the Quip toothbrush. If that's not an endorsement, and it probably is because I'm keeping that damn toothbrush in my mouth longer because, they time you for the 2 minutes. So they go, what have you been doing differently? Are you flossing? I'm like, yeah, but even I was slacking on the flossing even. I'm like, I got the Quip toothbrush, and they're dentists, so they understand. They're like, oh, a lot of people are talking about that Quip, and yeah, we're here, and it does a good job. That is a true story, my friends. All right. And then it says on the copy, say what you love about Quip. I didn't even look at the copy. I don't need to look at your dumb copy. But that's why I love Quip, and why over 1 million happy, healthy mouths do too. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to Get Quip, that's GetQuip.com/Opie right now, you could get your first refill pack for free. That's your first refill pack free at GetQuip.com/Opie. That's GetQuip.com/Opie. If you get a Quip, I don't know if I explained it earlier, but every 3 months, without thinking about it, they mail you a new brush head. So, that's important, too, to change that out. So, all right, go to GetQuip.com/Opie. Thank you, Quip. What's up, Manscaped? How are you, buddy? Or do you think there's a bunch of ladies that run the company? Do you know, Mike? Is it ladies or is it men that are running the Manscaped company? I got my lawnmower in the mail, boys and gals. Thank you. Oh, my God, I love Manscaped. Taming the briar patch, mowing the lawn, or trimming Yeti, whatever you call it, it's about time we talked about manscaping. Guys, you manscape, right? Mike, you manscape.
Of course.
What kind of design you go for? Are you like bald down there? You do a little heart for the missus?
All bald.
You go all bald.
I gotta go bald.
You're an animal. Mike's an animal. Keep things trimmed and fresh below the waist. 9 out of 10 women of all ages prefer their guy manscaped, but you got to have the right tools for the jewels, or you'll look like you used a machete. You get those nicks there, Mikey?
No, I gotta be very smooth. I'm good.
All right, that means you got the Manscaped because they have figured out how to do this properly. Pop over to manscaped.com and check out their perfect package. Oh, not that perfect package. The Manscaped Perfect Package 2.0, that was a smash hit on Shark Tank. It features the lawnmower. I just got the lawnmower in the mail. Thank you very much. A precision trimmer engineered for below-the-waist grooming. Its skin-safe technology means no more accidental nicks and burns. Check out the lawnmower and the amazing grooming and hygiene products that come with your perfect package. What's that saying? Trim the shrubs and the tree stands taller. Yo, Mikey, does your piece look bigger?
It definitely does.
I don't give a crap. But I do care if people are using Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping today. Visit Manscaped. Let me spell that out. MANSCAPED.com. Manscaped.com. Use promo code OPIE, O-P-I-E. Again, use promo code OPIE at Manscaped, MANSCAPED.com. Manscaped.com.
OpieRadio.
This is my friend Greg.
What's up, Jesse? How are you, buddy?
Jesse,
How's it going?
you are
Josh.
Hey, Josh.
We're podcasting.
Oh, nice. That midget joke was.
Wait, retell the midget joke.
Well, I'm not retelling it. It's,
Please, I missed it.
you know,
tell her like
it's a long story. It's too long.
It's a phenomenal.
I can give you the short version.
Yeah, let's do the short version.
I can give you the short version.
Backstage at the State Theater.
The short version, because this really did happen.
Okay.
So at the Comedy Store in London, which is a 500-seat theater, you get 5 acts. Everybody does 20 minutes, and the first guy's on, and the green room and the dressing room are connected right to the stage. So you walk through 2 double doors and through a curtain, and you're on the stage. So the first dude's on, it's packed house, everything's going great. He's about 15 minutes into his 20, and all we're hearing is through the wall and the doors, just dying laughing, like tonight here. And all of a sudden, it goes dead quiet. So we all start screwing around. We're like, what's going on? You can open these 2 doors, and because the curtain goes across, the audience can't see that we're listening and peeping. And so he had told a story or a joke. He used the word midget in the story, and which is wrong. You're supposed to say little people. And
No, Brad Williams said you could use midget.
Brad Williams did, who is a midget.
He gave us permission.
He gave us permission to say it. He said that all these people that think it's too tight-assy, that they're just a bunch of dicks. And here's a little person in themselves saying it's okay, say midget all you want, I don't care. If somebody tells you that, they're just kind of telling you that they're a dick. And but it's getting tense and weird. And the lady's left her seat, and she's working her way forward, and she's going, it's not midget, it's little person, and I'm a little person, and you're using a bigoted, prejudicial term. And she's like screaming at him, and the whole audience is just frozen. It's dead quiet. You could hear a pin drop. And he keeps going with it for a little bit longer because he doesn't believe it really is. He thinks it's just a drunk fucking with him. And so he's got the hands up to see over the stage lights to look to see, but it isn't. It's her. She's out of her seat. She's working her way forward. And she's continuing to hammer me. She goes, and I came here because it's my birthday. And they said we should go to the Comedy Store and get a big group, and there's a limo, and there's like 15 of us, and this was really, really good till you started saying this horrible shit, and now you're ruining my birthday. And again, it's just awkward. The Brits are staring at the floor. They all got their phones out. It's totally weird. When she says it's her birthday, he just dives in, happy birthday. Right? And all 500 people start singing with him. It broke the ice. It went from dead quiet, weird awkwardness to 500 people singing happy birthday to the lady. So we're pissing our pants in the green room laughing, and we're like, man, he pulled that out of his ass. That's a nice save. That's a nice save. And then one of the other comics goes, I don't remember him getting her name anywhere in that entire exchange. And they get to the part of the song, and they're like, happy birthday, dear. And all 500 people go, midget. And I never do my act in a fucking hallway.
Oh, stop. It's
You fucking lured me. But that's a true story. That's a true story.
Look, they loved it. She loved it.
I know Jesse. I know Jesse.
It's a phenomenal.
It's in a book. It's in a book. There's a story called I Killed.
In the hallway, that's stealable.
Pat is correct on that. Pat is correct.
Only when it's done on stage you can't steal it.
We just made him do his act in the hallway.
He told me you were coming. We're on the bus. He always
Wait,
forgets
why? I don't know why
Ron
you're so
met-
happy to
we're-
see. No offense, because I just met you.
No, but Ron met. When did you guys meet?
Oh,
7 or
about
8?
3 years ago on
Yeah.
an airplane ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And your name's Jesse?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in my phone as Jesse/Canadian. Because he was teasing me last time we were together. He goes, you don't remember me? I'm like, you're in my phone. Look right there.
Jesse Canadian.
Jesse
So
Canadian.
you met Ron White on a plane, and then you
Yeah.
guys became instant friends?
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a story. I don't know if I should tell it for FAA rules and things like that. But Ron and I
You can
met
tell
on
it.
a
It's so many
plane and-
years ago at this point, right?
It's not like anyone's recording this.
Yeah.
No, we're recording, but it's not like anyone's listening to this.
So I work for a fintech company. I don't know if that's the best way of going about things, but I will tell you the story of how Ron and I met. as long as I get some royalties out of it.
Okay. We'll give you a mattress.
You get like 2 cents a listen.
So I got on a plane in Vegas. I booked it because it was the only business class flight back to New York from Vegas. So I was going through LA and then back to New York. So I get on the plane. I'm one of the last people on there. I'm in first class. All of a sudden, this guy gets on with wild hair, like Texan accent. He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'll see if my bag fits up here, blah, blah, blah. And he sits down on the plane, and he's like, I think that's my seat there. And so he's sitting next to me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool, how's it going? He's like, oh, well, fucking weekend in Vegas. And I was like, well, yeah, right on, me too. I'm coming back from a business conference, and he's like, wow. He's like, yeah, I was playing golf out here, having a friend's birthday, blah, blah, blah. And
it was Madigan's birthday.
It was Madigan's birthday.
It was Madigan's, yeah.
And he was out there with Lewis. He was out there with Lewis Black.
I was there, too. I was there.
He was out there with Lewis Black.
Absolutely.
And that was when they decided to come up with the run for president against Trump.
Yep.
The Black and White Party. And so he gets on the plane, and he's like, the flight attendant comes up, and she's like, can I get you anything? She obviously knew who he was. And he's like, well, I could take a fucking bong hit.
To the flight attendant.
That's awesome. This was
and I'm sitting next to him. I'm like, right on. And I had some edibles in my bag, obviously. And so I'm sitting next to him, and he's like, he smiles at her, and she's like, well, I can't do that. And he's like, well, we're leaving Vegas, so that anything's possible. And so she laughs, and she's like, well, no, I can't do that, but do you want anything to drink? And he's like, yeah, I'll take a shot of tequila. So he looks at me, and I'm like, how's it going? And we started talking, and I didn't recognize who he was at the time, because I had watched the Blue Collar Comedy Tour like a decade before.
Okay.
Didn't really. I've been working on startups for the last 20 years.
Yeah, when he's not in New Brunswick, he's in like Istanbul.
Oh, jeez.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
Mumbai.
Yeah. And so we started talking, and we were going back and forth, and I was like, so where do you live? He's like, oh, I'm going home to California. And I was like, oh, right on. What do you do? He's like, well, I'm a performer. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. And, yeah, he's like, I was like, do you always spend your time in California? He's like, oh, no, I have 2 houses, one in Atlanta and one in California, because we travel a lot.
Is his other house still in Atlanta?
Oh, he just sold it.
He sold it.
It was on a golf course. It was beautiful. It was amazing.
And
just California now.
And so
and Austin. No, he came halfway across.
Now he's in Austin.
He's Austin and still LA.
That Austin house is beautiful.
It's really nice.
Yeah,
He's going to renovate the penthouse of this condo.
And so he's like, so I do these dual things, and so I'm sitting there and I look at him like, wait a fucking minute. You run white?
No fooling this guy.
No fooling this guy. Can't get it.
We're mad.
He's Canadian. He's a hockey goalie.
This was 2 hours into the flight.
No, because we're only Vegas to LA, so can't be that far.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
He corrected.
Or you can just go with the joke. Okay, let's keep it accurate.
I was like, are you fucking run white? He's like, yeah. And I was like, right on, right? And so we take off, and we're up at 1,000 feet, and she comes back around again. Can I get anything wrong right away? A bong hit would be great.
Does the same thing again.
And she laughs, and take a tequila, and so then we're talking about his house that he had upgraded. He put in all these fucking blinds and all that sort of shit, and so then he's like, so what do you do? And I was like, so have you ever heard of Bitcoin? And I explained Bitcoin and blockchain and shit we do in different parts of the world around this kind of stuff. And he's like, who in the fuck are you? He's like, I have not ever heard a single goddamn word of what you have ever just said to me in my life. And I was like, well, and he's like, so I'm running for president. Because this was back when the Trump thing. He's like, I'm running for president. He's like, I want you to be my technology advisor. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, anytime.
Amazing.
Ron, I'm just actually telling the
He's
time
recapping when y'all met.
when we met on the plane.
It was,
I have not
you were
just
asking
heard
for a
it.
bong hit.
This story is sexy too.
It is. I'm telling you, it is.
I explained Bitcoin to you, and you were like, I have not just heard a single word of anything you just goddamn said to me in my life.
I don't even remember. You know what? I've never really, other than that girlfriend I was telling you the story about going to Nantucket.
Yeah.
They're the only two people I've ever met on a plane I've stayed in contact with for years and fucking years. And
they're both worth it.
And both of them are worth it. Yes, absolutely.
But
they
did you
are.
really try to get a bong hit done on a plane?
Oh no, you don't know the rest of the story.
We were sitting there hitting a vape pen and some real,
so we're
some
sitting
flower
there
sounding nice.
So we're
you know?
sitting there, and Ron keeps asking for a bong hit, and I was like, well, you know, Ron, if you want, I got some edibles in my bag. And he's like, no, I got us covered. And he pulls out a vape pen.
Holy shit.
And so he starts hitting the vape pen on the plane. And the people across
Wait
from
a
us
minute,
are
blowing
looking
it
at
into
us.
a pillow.
All right.
Taking every precaution that a man can
Every
take.
couple are looking at us. And then Ron hands it to me, and he's like, do you want to hit on this? And I'm like, I'm doing the math in my head like George Costanza and Seinfeld. I'm like, well, Puerto Rican waitress, when am I ever going to flying in first class to Los Angeles and getting a smoke pot with Ron White? I was like, you take the pen.
That's true. That's true. There's a pen.
There it is.
And that was what it was. And then the funniest part was, so I gave Ron my card and was like, yeah, famous dude, never gonna fucking contact me, blah, blah, blah. The next day he calls me, he's like, hey, I'm gonna be in New York next week. Let's hang out.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, right. And we've been hanging.
Why not? And you've been hanging ever since.
Yeah,
Ron,
whatever.
is that alcohol or just water?
That'd be number one tequila. That you can get at
Thank you very
taterstequila.com.
much.
We were drinking more of that on your bus. I hope you don't mind.
That is
No, we got plenty. We got If the whole company goes out of business tomorrow, we got a lot of booze to drink.
That
so,
tequila, that is phenomenal tequila.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Hang on,
By the way, I want to.
making me want to get a cup.
Yeah, I want to.
Let's go back to come on.
Yeah.
Be a red soda
All right.
cup right here.
Following, where are we going now?
Story.
Where are we?
I loved it. Well, actually, you know what? I can't say this. There's an agent that I know in L.A.
Okay.
A full-time comedy agent.
Okay.
When he turned 40, we had a big lunch for him, and I was charged with going to the Hustler store and finding midget porn.
You know, Ron has that in it. Used to have that in his act because Ron had a joke in his show about he saw a videotape that said, "Fat midgets fucking fat midgets 2." And he goes, right when you would think that there would ever be one, he went, "There's a sequel." Right. Apparently, there were unanswered questions.
There you go.
That's what he said.
No, there was at the Hustler store in L.A. I don't know if it still exists.
But that's, yeah.
On Sunset Boulevard, I had to go and find midget porn.
That's
And
awesome.
you did?
Hell yeah.
She had to.
Well, I mean,
What are you gonna do?
It was his 40th birthday, you know.
You got to do it for the 40th birthday, right, Vic?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like
That's hilarious.
You just kind of roll with it, and if something doesn't roll the way you want it to, you
Okay,
just
I went and
keep
got my bag just in
going.
case. Pat wasn't sure if you had some in here.
That's what I do in business, right? Huh? That's what I do in business. It's like I just go.
Did I ever tell you the time there was a young lady on the short side
Well, that shows
that she wanted to be a stripper. So back in the O&A days,
Oh, yeah, y'all had-
you had to get past us,
Yeah.
basically, right? So she comes in, she's a midget, and she wants to be a stripper. We have Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son, and
Orange
Jack
County.
Black in studio.
Orange County.
Yeah, it was the Orange County day. Wow, you even remember around the year.
That's your-
And she gets on the console live on the radio show, and she starts stripping, right? It looked so ridiculous and silly that we just started laughing our fucking asses off. Talking about a midget trying to become a stripper, if you care. And so we started laughing. She covers up in the middle of this tryout and starts crying hysterically.
God.
But I think we did her a favor, man.
Anytime you make somebody cry.
No, it was.
They're gonna look back on that and go, "Thank God for that person."
It was a little person that wanted to be a stripper, so she came on our radio show and was trying out, and the scene looked so ridiculous that we openly laughed, and then she felt,
Do you remember the
terrible.
little person we met?
No.
Oh boy.
We met a little person at one comedy show, and she walked over and she was like, "Hi, you guys look really interesting," and you were like, "I think I can pick you up and spin you around," and she looked at you. Oh no, I'm still actually Facebook friends with her.
There's nothing wrong with that, right?
But never happened. And it was all we all laughed about it. It was a comedy moment.
That's all it is.
It wasn't like sexist or anything like that.
No, it wasn't hateful.
But it was pretty fucking funny, and we all laughed at the moment. It was
really. We will never forget.
That's the thing with it's always the comedic timing, right?
Of course, it all comes down to timing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Ron, that was a fucking set and a half.
Oh,
you crushed it.
I hope I didn't fuck up anything.
How could you?
I don't know.
How are you fucking up anything?
But I
Did you already eat that lollipop, dude? You look like
no, but I brought it. But
you look a little afraid.
No, I'm always afraid these days, man. I'm so stressed out. It's crazy, but I'm really glad that I was able to come.
I am too, man.
It's a nice break. I was like, said to the wife, I was like, so Ron's in
Two
town.
guys that were there that night. I was the guy on stage, and Henley was next. And so we're talking about the midget story, the permission, because Sean Mio was. He's a British comic, and he's really funny, and he was the host that night that it happened to. And then I was going to be the next comedian on stage after that. And so when we passed each other, he leans in and goes, "Don't you fucking think for a second you're taking that." And I'm like, "I'm already taking it. I already said I'm already taking it." And then throughout the rest of the night, he finally said, "All right, I never leave the UK practically." And he writes on television, so he's successful. He goes, "I'll tell it in the UK. You can tell it anywhere else you want."
Beautiful.
So yeah, that's what I was just telling Josh. So.
Did your act in the hallway at the State Theater?
I'm embarrassed that you. I hardly ever do my act on command. It's very.
Well, that's what makes it special.
But she runs the place, and that's a nice lady. The lady that just told the Hustler Store story,
and she enjoyed it. So
that's sing for yourself a little bit. That ain't.
But she was worried that she was talking about midget porn. There's porn for everything.
Oh God,
everything, everything you can imagine.
Absolutely. You should have seen them. They told me about Fake Taxi. Do you know about Fake Taxi?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know anything. We were on the bus one night talking, and he goes, "You don't know about Fake Taxi?"
Yeah, but there. You guys like Fake Taxi? The acting is terrible.
I love it. It's not acting. That's real.
That's real.
That's not
Don't
acting.
fuck me up.
Oh, same here. Same here. Same here. Oh,
I know some of them.
No, that's been bad. That's a whole other thing.
Cash Cab is totally real, right?
Cash Cab is totally real.
No, Fake Taxi.
Fake Taxi's a porn thing. It's a porn thing.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
porn thing.
Those people need rides.
I feel
These people need rides.
I feel so old all of a sudden because I'm like, wait, Cash Cab?
I didn't know. I didn't know either. Believe me, we were on the bus, and they between Ron and Pat and Dave, they were opening shit. They couldn't get their laptops open fast enough.
Right.
Your girlfriend that.
Yeah.
I like Fake Agent too. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Fake
I like
Agent.
all that reality.
I love it. I need that. I need it to be like real. I need it to be real.
I like all that
I need it
reality
to be real.
stuff.
I need to think it's real.
There's Fake Hospital. I think
I haven't seen that one. Fake
Where
Hospital.
it's all just fake doctors.
I'm not sure I buy that one as much. But most of these guys are probably pretty good looking guys that they might fuck anyway. So now there's a little incentive to do it, and that's fucking crazy. I love it. I think it's worth that. I build my day around it.
Bravo. I gotta go amateur.
You like amateur porn better?
Yeah, you gotta have a little.
It's got to be realistic.
You gotta have a little dirt. The lighting's gotta be a little bad,
It
right?
needs to be
That's
realistic.
fine with me.
Maybe a missing tooth or two, something.
Whoa.
But when it that's too far. That's too far. That's too far.
Right. Check, please.
My son told me this story today. It was really a cute story about the first time he took his girlfriend of years and years, Rachel, who's a vegan, to Thanksgiving, but they'd gotten Franklin barbecue, and this guy, it's the baddest barbecue in the baddest part of barbecue land, And what he does is he smokes prime meats, and nobody's ever done it before. And it's just crazy good. You have to stand in line for 2 hours to get a sandwich. Right. That's how big this guy is. But you can go there if you order it and pick it up without doing that. So they do that. And then it's like hundreds of dollars worth of fucking meat. It's expensive as shit. And they have the Thanksgiving dinner, and there's a bunch of it left over. And Rachel goes, well, maybe we should give all this leftovers to the homeless. And they were all like, fuck you. This ain't going anywhere. You vegan? I mean, literally, these are people that worship meat. They're like, they're going to drop this off in a fucking street corner? Fuck you. Right. I don't know who you think you are. We're getting the fuck. Here's what you're going to do. They didn't even give him any food. My son goes, they didn't even give us any food to take home with us because they didn't know what she was going to do with it.
Marshall.
Yeah.
I love Marshall.
So when do we all...
you ready to go? Meet and greet.
All right, now it's meet and greet time.
This is where all the women come in and just throw themselves in front of you?
This is crazy.
It gets crazy.
Now they go back on the stage.
Nice.
And there's they do a little half circle, and he sits on the stool. He'll tell the joke or two. He answers questions.
You can strip down if you want.
If you feel compelled to get naked,
he totally ruined it with the whole tooth thing.
The tooth thing, guy.
Totally ruined
Toothless
it.
strippers.
Why would he say something like that?
Where are you from?
No,
Massachusetts, and you're worried about some dental work?
Yeah, no, missing teeth.
what part of Massachusetts? And who is this guy?
Worcester. This is Josh.
Yeah, I'm friends with Jesse.
He's just friends with Jesse.
I worked at WAAF.
Oh, really? 107.3.
Yeah, 107.3.
That was Opie and Anthony.
Huh?
That was Opie and Anthony.
This is Opie.
No, wait.
This is Opie.
No, it's Opie and Anthony.
This is Opie.
No, it's not. Hey, are you serious?
There's the big reveal. Yeah, this is what I'm doing now. What's up, man?
Get the fuck out of here. God. Oh, who's the guy I was telling him about? Who's the comedian that goes on your used to go on your show? Bald, he's really perverted.
That's really awesome.
Bald and really perverted. Help me out.
Come on.
I don't know.
Oh, it's
Black, white?
he's on Opie and Anthony now. He has his own show. Oh my God.
Jim Norton.
Jim Norton.
Oh, Jim Norton. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Norton. Yeah, because Norton, was it you or the other one that got in trouble when the girl pulled the gun?
That's hilarious.
In Times Square.
Yeah.
I love how the stories get twisted.
No, he does all stand up about it.
Yeah, Anthony.
Did you hear this?
Anthony's taking pictures in Times Square.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
I've never listened to you, but I know of you.
Right.
Because I'm from Canada.
It didn't make.
I'm a tech guy, so I don't really do a lot.
Yeah, but you know my name.
Yeah, well, I know Opie and Anthony because you guys were a prank show at first, right? Like a little bit of
we were like shock jocks.
Shock jocks, yeah.
Midget strippers dancing on the console.
You know what I remember you guys from? Whip It Out Wednesday.
There you go.
WOW from what? Yeah, Whip It Out Wednesday.
And then we got fired in Boston because we said
the mayor Menino was
died
dead.
in a car accident. Yeah.
His family heard.
And then we got kicked out of Boston.
Which is complete bullshit.
That's crazy.
So he's dead.
These
now.
guys.
The mayor's dead now.
I
See, you were right.
No, but later in his life, at the end of his life, he was doing a book tour at Sirius XM. I was trying to get him on the show to apologize, and all these years later, it was probably almost 20 years later, he didn't want anything to do with me still. And I felt bad to the point, I'm like, you know what, I got to bury this hatchet and apologize to the guy.
Yeah, he's not a very smart.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
No, but this is Jimmy Norton's. I love Jimmy Norton. He is phenomenal. Yeah, I could tell you some good, funny stuff off.
Oh, funny stuff off the air.
Yes, about Massachusetts politics.
Don't talk about me.
Are we allowed to vote?
My best friend's ex-wife.
Is big in Massachusetts politics?
So I don't know if I
give us some good shit.
Her.
No, don't tempt me.
No, we can't be loud out here because he'll be talking.
All right. Could we like record a little bit of it, maybe?
I think, yeah.
All right, now we're leaving the green room, going on stage where Ron White's doing a meet and greet, a special VIP meet and greet. So.
Just listen. So he said, if I come in here, everybody starts asking me questions, and that interrupts it. So
oh, really?
He's moving around because people come over and want to say, "Hey, that was funny," and that messes up their little thing that they're doing. So. You come, you hang out, they're asking questions, he tells some stories, you get a photo, and he goes on.
And that's it. Yeah. Should I go into the circle?
You can do it.
Oh, hell yeah. All right.
Really? Yeah. When you drank scotch, what was your scotch of choice?
It was 18-year-old Macau until I got tired of taking a $90 piss every morning.
What's your favorite cigar?
Thanks, Ron. Great night, Dave.
I like this one. It's free. If I had to pick one to go to the island with, probably be the Monte Cristo number 4 Cuban. I like cigars about that size. I don't like huge cigars. I don't have the time or the lungs or whatever it takes to get them done. But
Vic, where are ye?
Back here where we were.
Oh, you're over there now. There's so many green rooms.
Yeah.
It's very intimate on that stage. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. And
It's nice.
And it's really nice when it happens, but he's still trying to get them in. I mean, we're going to dinner later or go do something else. And, like, if I walk up in the middle of this, they'll get their picture taken to him. They've already asked him the question.
Yeah.
Then they come over to me on the side and they're like, can we get a picture? And it fucks up the whole. And,
Right.
and this ain't my show,
Yeah.
by the way. So I try to stay out of the way. Although sometimes I miss some great stuff because they'll come back later. Somebody will ask a question every now and then that he's never been asked before. Most of them he knows, and he knows what he'll say. But
how funny is that the guy was talking about Opie and Anthony?
He didn't know it was you. Did you go, oh, no. Well, no, he said the call numbers. He said the letters and the number. Right. And then he goes, Opie and Anthony. And I'm like, this is Opie. And he was like, no, it's not. I had to say it 3 times. I think I had to say it 3 times. That's funny.
Maybe he was expecting something different.
I don't know. He was expecting you to stomp on a cake in front of a homeless.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Joey, time jump.
Good idea.
bring it up to speed. Here we go. Hang on, everybody. There she goes.
No.
You can say, what's wrong? What are you reading?
Too many cops on stage sketches me out. It's always a bit of a weird.
He's crossing
warning
borders.
sign.
He's crossing a lot of borders.
This is Jesse again, who met Ron White on a plane. I just got to make sure people know who I'm talking to.
Slow down, no.
That was just a joke.
It's
right?
Jesse
I'm just
Canadian.
kidding.
Jesse Canadian, right?
You know what? Use my name all you want.
All right, thank you,
You're
sir.
good.
I appreciate it.
I actually have nothing to hide because what I do in life and what I do in business is all straight and direct.
Nice.
So the work I do with the company I do.
Do you travel all over the world?
Yeah.
You just got back from where were you today?
Mexico.
Yesterday.
What were you doing in Mexico?
Working on a deal with banks.
Yeah. With Bitcoin?
No.
Blockchain?
Yeah. We provide financial technology for financial institutions around the world to better communicate with each other.
Damn it.
To bring
Well
down
said.
the cost.
That's a good sentence.
He's like, I
To
didn't
bring
understand
down,
anything.
to bring down the cost.
You're smart.
To make stuff better for people, whether they're businesses or consumers, to transact with each other.
Nice.
That's what it's all about.
Do we need the wall down there?
No.
Yeah, I don't
Wall where? I mean, seriously.
No walls anywhere.
So Ron's got way better jokes about tunneling.
Yeah.
Well, that's netting.
We've heard it.
Well, that's what I said on Twitter earlier this week, and people got pissed off at me. I'm like, look, you could build the wall all you want, but we're going to ignore the whole intricate tunnel system they already have.
So I've said this so many times.
They have tunnels where they ride motorcycles.
I'm like,
torchlight.
Run with the torchlight.
See,
That's fucking vital.
That was good. Your boy came
No,
through. He finally did something.
the torch. Yeah, exactly. He stopped pissing off fucking everybody.
He still won't tell us what prominent Massachusetts Democrat.
Right. Wait, talk about the tunnel.
Well, so I mean, first of all, the tunnels. I mean, where was I?
I said on Twitter that the tunnel system is ridiculous down there already. Where the other side of the tunnel is miles from the border.
No, so the answer is technology.
Yeah, of course.
It's drones.
Of course.
Because we have autonomous drones that can sit up there for days and days and days and days. And if you look at that, combine it with better logistics systems, like maybe apply Uber to the customs and border security people.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you have a much better system.
Right.
You don't need a wall. The wall is going to get broken through. Like the steel barrier, which was shown that it can be cut through, that's fucked.
Right.
The real but you know,
well, in America we love symbolism over substance.
Bring it all the way back.
Yeah.
What are we protecting against?
Right.
We're protecting against a man with his 6-year-old daughter coming into our fucking country, because they're coming from a situation that's worse than we can ever goddamn imagine in our lifetimes.
Right.
We're not protecting against anything. We should like. I don't want to subquote a Democrat, whatever, because I don't really care. I'm not really politically connected all that much, but I do believe that we need to take care of people. And do we want the symbol of America to be a mall or the Statue of Liberty?
Well, now I got to call you a snowflake and a libtard because you want to take care of people.
No. But that's right. Like if someone shows up at your doorstep
I was joking
in the middle of the,
I actually agree with you that we should take care of people.
But if someone shows up at your doorstep in the middle of the night and they're hurt, or even if they're not hurt, if they're just lost and they don't know where the fuck they are and they need somewhere to be warm for the night, what do?
Right.
Block their number.
Says the man involved in politics.
But all I'm saying is that's what we need. Like let's look at it through a lens of humanity and personality.
But more importantly, we need tougher border security, but the wall's not the way to go.
Exactly.
It's not
we need enforcement of like if because I've been traveling all the way down to Costa Rica in various decades of my life. And I've seen where poverty and gangs and I haven't actually seen in the last decade and a half, which is probably where it's gotten really worse. But it's fucked up for a lot of people down there. And so if they do need to escape, how do we help them?
Right.
Because refugees are refugees.
Right.
So it's a screening system, but it's also just how do we rationalize everything as humans and make this a way to efficiently process things. It's not that hard.
There you
go.
Well,
it's like,
the government's shut down over that whole wall
It's like
issue.
20, 30 questions.
Right.
Where are you from? Where are you born? How old are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then once you get through those, you can probably scrape off 50% of the people who are false.
Yeah.
Secondary question for a few more. Done.
Right. There you go.
About the quarterback.
So anyway,
bravo.
Sorry.
Good meeting you,
I
Jason.
didn't mean to chat too much.
No, I like
Supposed to
it.
be like phenomenal.
I like it.
That was him.
Yeah. So what's your given name?
Greg.
Greg?
Yeah.
But you go by?
Well, I mean, I got the nickname when I was like 12 years old.
Jeremy Johnson.
So I'm
Opie.
stuck with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
you go
hate
by
the
Greg.
I actually hate
Well,
the
Greg,
name
nice
Opie.
to meet you, Jesse.
All right, Jesse.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll go by Greg.
Yeah, good. I like that.
Back in Arkansas.
Like next great thing.
I don't know who that is. I don't know
that
about
guy.
that. We're talking. We went back to football.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Christ.
what's up with you, Opie and Anthony? Like, why can't you come back? Like, no, seriously. What is?
Past things.
I want to know this. I want to know, like, why can't you come back?
We did 20 years, and
That's
we
enough.
we
Would
kinda,
you not want to go back, or?
Nah, not at this point. We grew apart, and he's doing his thing. I'm doing
So you guys
mine.
aren't
and
friends anymore?
Not really, but I wish him nothing but the best. It happens.
He's doing
No.
Both of them
We're
are
both
No,
doing
you guys are
fine.
legends in legends in New England.
Yeah, we just kind
Legends.
of grew apart. A lot of people want us to get the show back together, but I don't know if it would be the same thing anymore.
Why is
unfortunately.
that? Because you guys are older and
We're older and very different, and we had our time,
I have
and
little kids. I'm still very immature.
He's immature.
Just observe me.
No, I mean, we did it. We did it. I mean, maybe
Been there, done that, got
maybe
six
maybe
stars.
down the road,
Yeah.
you never know. But
He's got a house in the Hamptons because of that.
well, yeah. I mean,
Or related to that.
All right, edit that part out.
Nah, it's all
leave
right.
it in. It's fine.
We did all right.
You're just another example of some dumbass that haven't been paying attention to what's been going
No,
on. He's had to answer this question 80 million times.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with
My friends love
Well, me and
I think it's amazing.
well, the last time we did a show together was almost
You wind
I-
up with
is 4.5 years ago.
My only problem is like the fact that like you do one, not that you did anything wrong, because I'm not even sure exactly what it was, but like you do something wrong and like you go out and you say, here's how I fucked up, like Louis C.K. I fucked up,
Right.
I did wrong, and please forgive me, and people are like, oh wow, no, he can't be forgiven. It's like, who doesn't fuck up?
Well, that's
Instead just deny, like.
well, it's that fake morality that everybody has out there. It's because like. The hate's never been. There's so much. Vic, how much hate is out there in the world right now? So with Louis C.K., people are like, oh my God. And then they they justify their own hate back at Louis.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it's okay if I hate because they thought he was
He
hateful.
fucked up, and he said he fucked up.
Well, he didn't really say too much. He should have said more, I thought. When the first time being him, his first time back on stage at the Comedy Cellar, he didn't address it. Yeah. And that doesn't go with anything he had shown us for the previous 20 years in comedy as his character.
He went on and got another issue.
Well, that was another one later.
Parkland,
But the first one back a few months ago. The first time he goes back on, he left it out. And if he'd have done a Louis on him being Louis, I think he'd be rocking right along fine. I'm sure he'll still be fine.
About, like what it was like.
Richard Pryor immediately went on and told him out. Yes, I put my milk. I was having some milk and cookies. And I put my milk. And then he went real with it and told it.
But he didn't know what the fuck to do. He lost everything. He was an A-lister in Hollywood, and then it was all taken away.
Well, Sarah Silverman blew it up.
You know, I think it'll be all right. He might work it.
But what do you think of the latest controversy being a comic?
You know, I don't know. We'll see.
No, I mean with the set that was leaked. That was such bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's stupid. Every bit of the Parkland stuff, that was fuck. That's who he is, first of all.
Right.
Now, just because you didn't go back on your first time ever and do the elephant in the room, your shit, still doesn't mean. So I guess that's just he chose that. I don't know. I'm not him. I don't know. But then your next set or the next few months after that, while it's still a work in progress, and you're always worried about people taping stuff at these small clubs, then you get like a double dick because the joke's not even finished yet, and they're already mad at you because you didn't
someone else
say you were
delivering
sorry.
it. It's not him delivering it. It's someone else
so,
telling how
it's such a
it's
tough.
I would bet that he didn't actually think about digital recording when he got on stage to do it.
That's probably right.
Well, I think he was probably just like, because like I've hung out with Ron, I've hung out with you, and like you just get up on stage and you just do a quick.
But you also, but you also will say things at a comedy club you're not going to say in a church, or you're not going to say they're going to be brought at a school.
It's not a safe space,
right?
It's a comedy club,
and also stuff you don't want to be repeated even tomorrow.
Well, that's the worst thing.
It's going to be recorded and blasted everywhere.
That's right. No, if you
the Parkland that was just totally.
Yeah, but hold on. I got
to give him a chance. He'll make
Thank
it funny.
you. I got
give him a chance.
I want to hear him say it, not.
I got to defend that because you could take the Parkland situation very seriously and also find jokes about it that are funny.
Absolutely.
That is
to tell it, not.
That's comedy 101.
Yeah. There's no.
You could support something, but also it takes the piss out of things
that's
as well.
That's satire, at its
which
finest.
is really, really important.
No, that's satire.
And the thing that drove me nuts is not enough people came out and said that it was a work in progress.
They were still they're still mad at him about the other thing,
right?
And that too, and then they don't really realize. You don't get the civilians to be condescending. They don't get down there in the nuts and bolts of it and see you out there busting it. 4 sets a night, and you're going to 4 spots around the city. It might take you 6. It took me 3 or 4 months to get the midget story correct, at least.
Small people.
But you have to little people. I've had things that small people. Here with Ron, I had this other long story about my granddad was a racist, and it took almost a year to get it right, and I was only doing it mainly for him because he liked it, and Ron and I were talking about it, and so like 9 months in, one of the nights I finally got it down. It's like the first time it works. And as we pass each other, he's like, "It's been a joy to watch you craft that into a fabulous piece of comedy."
Right.
He goes, "I saw you when you just put the clay on the wheel. Yeah. We didn't know what was going to happen. Look at this lovely vase." But he was really sincere about it. He saw how long I had to goddamn work.
You know, a lot of people use that dumb word "safe space."
Yeah,
but
I know.
But as a stand-up comic in a comedy club, you're in a safe space as far as you can say some really dark, evil shit that people are going to eat up.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that's the person you are.
I got away with.
You guys will even say stuff during the late show, like an 11 o'clock show, that you wouldn't say at the 7 o'clock show.
Absolutely, yes.
So it wasn't fair to Louis that was thrown out there like that.
Plus, it's someone else. I mean, like, imagine if Ron told a joke and then I'm retelling how he told the joke that he's been working on for fucking 9 months. I'm gonna butcher the joke. Like someone's retelling Louis C.K.'s Parkland joke.
No, they had audio.
Oh, did they have the actual audio?
Yeah, they recorded it.
Yeah.
It was
all right.
tasteless.
Edit that out.
So the thing is, Louis C.K.'s kids actually went to school with my kids for a number of years, and I think he's very good on his delivery, but I don't think he's that.
He's one of the best.
He's not that happy of a person.
Oh, that's
no
fair. That's a fair guess.
No
Yeah,
comedians are.
that's also
No,
a fair assessment. I am.
You've not hung out with Ron or Vic.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I don't know if you're a comedian, but you seem all right, too.
But the profile is true. Josh is right. The profile is dark, weird, twisted, mad, mainly. But that doesn't mean the profile's real.
Half the comedians I've met have been extremely fucking real. Like Jimmy Fallon. Ron and I hung out with Jimmy one night at some fucking private whiskey club in L.A. Amazing. All night long. We did fucking karaoke type shit. Like, got them to turn the music off. Like,
I was like bullshit. I saw pictures like,
yeah. There's a video and it ends with Jimmy going, turn that off.
And cut. It goes no further. That's hilarious.
And, but half the fucking comedians you meet are actually like they appear to be.
Yeah.
And they're just as straight up. Like, I've hung out with Ron at 6 a.m. on his balcony. He's just as fucking funny at that point and genuine and telling the same goddamn jokes. Right. Even though I might have heard them once or twice.
Oh, we got deep in here, Ron. You don't even want to know.
But all good, I hope.
It was all good.
But you know, there are half the comedians you meet are exactly as you expect them to be.
Yeah, Ron, you don't have a dark past, right? How are you so funny?
I don't have a dark past.
No, but I was just saying, like, you know, you meet
The
some
profile.
like Louis C.K.
Steve
was
Martin,
a
Chevy
classmate.
Chase,
His daughters were a
Jim
classmate
Carrey.
of my kids, and so I would always see him at school stuff, both through elementary school and middle school. No, but even then, he just wasn't.
He's just being.
He was never that originally comedic, happy. Like, it was never like a you just hang out and tell a joke with type person. And, you know, like, I met you. We were laughing within like 2 minutes. Meet Vic. We're laughing within 2 minutes. We wind up going out to dinner, meeting Jimmy Fallon. We're all laughing within 2 minutes. Like, there are certain comedians that you meet, and they are actually genuinely sort of
a little darker. That's what makes them funny too.
Yeah. What kind of fucking hack am I? I should be more of a prick.
That's the lesson.
This all started with the profile is everybody that none of us are happy.
Oh, right.
And so Jesse went right there. I've known these two fuckers. I think they're happy.
Yeah.
But the whole idea was everybody's dark and weird and can't get along or something stupid.
No, we do all have fucked up childhoods.
That is true. That part's true. Foundation is the
tell you a little
same.
story about myself.
Let's get a group hug going on that.
I'm gonna let this man change clothes.
Yeah. Let's let Ron be, man.
All right, let's leave Jesse and Ron alone.
Yeah. Ron's taking his clothes off. It was time that was the clue. Get the fuck out, guys. I want to change. So, oh my God, we'll go in here now.
Yeah, you know it's time to stop. He's just disrobing.
He's like,
Do you know how many times I've actually just stood there through that?
No, me too. No,
No, you just because lots of times he has dressing rooms that are like half partitioned, and it's just like, and he doesn't care. He doesn't.
I've been on the bus. I just start wiping down counters.
I want to know the story of the prison tattoo on his shoulder. By the way,
I didn't see it. Might have been Navy. Might have been from the Navy.
He's got some.
It might be from the Navy. He was in the Navy.
He's got some ink on his shoulder.
He was. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, he just. Oh God. I wish I could get it. I've heard him tell the story lots about getting kicked out of the Navy, and a bunch of us have. And then Madigan told me on the phone a couple weeks ago because he was at her house hanging. And they're about to interrupt him, going, "We know this one." And every now and then there's a different little nuance or something about that little time in the Navy that you go, "Oh, I didn't know that part." And so Madigan said, for the first time, she goes, "I've heard him talk about this." We cut him off on the story, and he goes, "But did I tell you the saddest part, the most humiliating part of the whole thing?" And Madigan goes, "No." And he goes, whenever he got back to whoever the person was in charge was, told him that he was a hole in the national defense. Use that exact quote.
That's awesome.
Did you ever hear the story?
He's
about...
like stamping the paper, whoever it is, and then threw that line at him. And Madigan like spit wine everywhere. And all the funniest things.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, please. And she's trying to get him to work it into a story in the show.
But John McCain was like a third generation. Like his
absolutely.
His parent or his dad and his grandfather were, heroes in the Navy. So he enlisted in the Navy. He's a complete fuck up. So he enlists in the Navy, and he goes to see a girlfriend out of town, and he, I guess, is waiting. He's at a bar, and he's waiting for the ship to take off, and he's got like a couple hours to kill, so he starts drinking, and he gets completely fucked up. And then he finally gets on the boat. He gets to her house. The father opens the door, and he collapsed through the fucking...
front door.
Through the front door, collapsed, and the guy was like, get the fuck out of here. That's John McCain. Like, he was this close to being president. Like, complete fuck up.
Yeah, but they all have a story like that.
A drunk story, John.
Oh, come on.
I don't
come
have,
on.
I mean...
Really?
I always, it's moderation.
Oh, God.
God damn.
There's a taco
and then
joint.
you just accelerate right through that.
There's a taco joint on the Upper East Side, and every time I'm walking past there, every now and then, about every few years, it'll pop in, because you know how they pile the garbage up in the big, giant black bags. Sure. And every time I walk by there, and I'll see it, and I'll go, 1997. I tripped and fell onto all the bags of garbage, and it's like being trapped in 9 beanbag chairs. You can't get out, and I'm so drunk, I'm just flailing like a fish out of water, like a turtle on the back. And my wife at the time and my best friend and his wife, they just stood there and watched me flail for about 5 minutes. And then finally, J.R. Havlin, who I was talking about, he finally threw my hand down. And you ain't getting anything on you. I'm not dirty because it's all concealed. Yeah. But they sat there and watched me turtle flop for 5 minutes. And still, every couple of years, the other night I walk by, I go, I wallowed in garbage right there.
And the rats didn't get you?
No, nothing got me. I came up. That's the first thing they did was they got me up. They started checking me for everything.
In New York City, the night before garbage day.
Yeah.
My God!
The freaks come out at night
with all the garbage piled up. The rats. Come a nibbling, man.
The freaks come out at night.
Who did that originally?
Houdini, I think.
God damn.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, you got it.
Wow.
You got it.
You
got it.
I don't know.
I don't have to look that one up.
Who would you rate top 5 comedians of all time?
George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks?
Yes. That's on my list, too.
Yeah.
Bill Hicks, no way. Bill Burr.
Bill Hicks is the Carlin Pryor of our generation. I like Burr. Burr's not through working yet, so I'm not considering him.
You can't put him on a list yet.
Yeah.
I think Bill Burr's
I'd put
top
Rock
5.
on the list maybe right now. Maybe.
Chris Rock's on my top 5.
Yeah.
I go Chris Rock, I go Richard Pryor, I go George Carlin, and I go Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks?
Yes!
Yeah.
Bill Hicks was way ahead of his time.
Don't let Ron hear you say this. He'll punch you. Hicks is the Pryor of our generation. He's our age group's Pryor. Brilliant guy. If he hadn't, one of the saddest things ever. Losing him at 32 years old is one of the saddest fucking things ever.
And go listen to Relentless right now, and it's timeless.
Good guy. What you reading for?
Right.
It's
right.
There's a million of them
at the Waffle House
in Eden, Oklahoma.
Well, I guess I read for a couple.
But no, why don't you think so? No one.
Absolutely, Bill Hicks.
Too many people were not exposed to this, but he was Letterman's favorite. Letterman had him on forever. Letterman apologized. You know about this story? One night they told him to take some jokes out, and he didn't do it, and they cut him out of the show. They cut him out of the show, and then long after he had died, Letterman brought his mom on, and they ran the set, and Letterman apologized.
Yeah.
But literally maybe like 18 years later or something crazy
something like that.
But Letterman said it was one of the things that always bothered him the most. But slap him.
No.
He says, "Who do you like?" And I said, "Carlin Pryor Hicks." And he started going, "Hicks."
I don't think Bill Hicks top 5 ever.
Oh, top 1.
Yeah, thank you.
Easily.
Thank you.
Who's your top 5?
I don't have
no particular order. No particular
order, but Hicks would be
right up there.
He's in mine.
I'm going to watch it.
And he died at 33 years old.
Oh, yeah, you're totally wrong. I have a doctorate in this. And I do.
Doctorate in stupidity.
I do.
I do, too.
And you do, too.
I do, too. And he was not taking, and he doesn't.
I know.
He's in this, too. Between the three of us, this is
Hicks
90 years of telling you how fucking stupid
I went Bill Hicks, too. I go George Carlin over Richard Pryor.
Well, I'm Canadian.
But I got Richard Pryor on my list.
Yeah, I love Pryor.
Right.
Who do you have? Somebody we've never heard of?
Wait, so what is your top 5?
John Candy is up there.
John Candy's not stand-up.
That's true.
John Candy is a
John Candy.
actor.
He's one of the
He
funniest.
did He's Second City.
Second City. Second City.
One of the funniest guys there.
Oh, Joe Classic. I agree there, but not stand-up. He's talking about stand-up.
Yeah. And he was surprised Bill Hicks was on the list. My God.
Well, I would actually go with almost the black people like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. Chris Rock. Chris Rock. I mean, we ran into Chris Rock at the Comedy Cellar that night when he was preparing for the Oscars, and he shut it down because people were recording him. He's
last special
fucking
stunk.
awesome.
Of course he is.
Terrible.
We were just talking about Eddie Murphy at your apartment.
Oh yeah, good
Delirious
Lord.
and his game material and how that would not fly
Never
today.
fly today. Everybody would be terrified. They're on one of the. It's not the Delirious album. On the Eddie Murphy. No,
I thought it was Delirious.
No, he does those jokes in the special.
Yeah.
The album is called Eddie Murphy Comedian.
Right.
It's his first album they recorded at the comic strip. Track 7 is called Faggots.
Right.
Now, could you get away with that today?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell.
I could get out of town with it.
But Track 7 is called that. That's how much things have changed.
You wouldn't open with that.
But it's on if you find an old copy of the album.
I know it is.
Track
That's
7.
how much comedy has changed because when that material was out, people would recite those lines in school and thought it was the funniest shit.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, that's right.
Different
Yeah.
sensibility.
Yeah, of course.
Who do you think is the best female comedian out there right now?
Stage-wise, maybe Madigan, Kathleen Madigan.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Really doesn't get much better than her. And in casual conversation with somebody, Kathleen's as funny as anybody I've ever met. So she's
Whitney Cummings or what about?
I know her pig.
We didn't tape that.
This is true.
That's how this whole day started.
Yes, it did.
We were at,
I didn't show you the picture. I got Whitney.
we didn't.
He's
we
got a
didn't
picture
tape
in his
that.
phone. He met Whitney Cummings' pig.
Ron White was telling me and Vic about this. I don't even know how to
It's a
explain
pig
it.
rescue farm.
A pig rescue farm because a lot of people get the baby pigs and then don't realize that these things grow to 700 pounds and then they don't want it anymore. So there are people that take all the pigs in. And with that said, Ron White saw Whitney Cummings' pig.
How many they got out there, Ron? What'd you tell us?
250 pigs. And the guy, I said, how many pigs you got out here? And he goes, 250. I said, it looks like 250 pigs. And it did, you know. I was going to guess. And I'm good at guessing numbers like you are, because I work different size rooms. And I make different amounts of money depending on how many things are in it. And so I was, I was sitting around. I mean, I didn't say it out loud, but I thought 250 was a great, at least an educated, fucking pretty sharp guess. And then... and they were pigs, man, and there were 250 of them, and this was this week.
And they were living in the house and everything. Right?
Yeah,
You were
4
telling
of them lived in the house,
That's
and
crazy.
Whitney was one of the house pigs.
Not that. Whitney Cummings' pig is one of the house pigs. Not Whitney Cummings.
Let's just keep it. No, let's just keep it like that. That's funny.
No, but it's
Whitney was one of
I'm
the-
just telling you, Whitney is a small world because I wish I could remember the pig's name because they did have a name, but I forgot what it was. This would be a way better story,
right?
Whitney.
Isn't she married now, Whitney Cummings?
I just know she has a pig.
that she couldn't take care of. That she couldn't take care of. That is now living outside of Austin.
Perfect solution. Living in the pig doctor's fucking living room.
Right.
You know.
I just know she has a pig.
Didn't he tell me there's footage? They've got cameras on the property, and there's footage of feral pigs that live outside the rescue place.
Yeah, they walk up to the fence and they're like, "How you get in there, man?" What is that, like a nightclub? What is it, like a sandals for?
Who's working the door?
Laying mud and people feed you and what? How do you get in? What is it? You guys got the keys?
And then the other pig that they let out into the wild, right? You were telling us?
Oh no, he just
No,
said
no. Those were just. There's a feral pig problem in that part of the country.
Oh,
This is Bastrop, Texas.
No, I thought he was talking about Alex. Just took his.
Oh yeah, Alex. Yeah, Alex freed his.
Just
Alex
freed him.
Yeah, freed 3 of them.
Alex Ramundo, one of his another 30-year dear friend, opens for him. They own the tequila company together. He bought some, and
He bought 3 pigs. That's what happens. People go because they're nothing cuter than a baby pig.
Right.
And so if you say, yeah, look, they're look at little pot-bellied Vietnamese,
Right.
whatever the fuck, you know. That's really what it was.
Jesse's
And
losing it.
so
He lost it.
So what they would, and people look at him and they go, fuck yeah,
whatever the fuck.
$1,000.
Right.
And yeah, there was. That was the strain of it. There were Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs. That was a real deal.
Sounds great.
But but then next thing you know, you got
they're 500 pounds.
Yeah, you got big pigs.
They're shitting all over
and
your
they-
house.
He lives in Louisville. He lives in.
Oh, really?
So he did,
Well, this guy lives in Bastrop.
No, Alex.
Alex lived in outside of L.A. when he had those.
Oh,
Now he lived like Palmdale.
Okay,
Up in
Palmdale.
he had
Okay.
like 3.5 acres, some
Not
horses.
good. Not good. Lots of big kids.
So he just took him, but one day he just loaded them up and took them somewhere.
Yeah,
And, well, I think he just opened the gate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He didn't even think.
yeah. And he said every once in a while you'd see them, they got like tusks and shit. And,
Why are they collecting pigs? I don't understand. Why is that?
oh, no. It's a pig rescue. in
Why are you
Bastrop.
rescuing pigs?
No, because people buy the pigs as pets and they don't
Somebody's
realize
got to do something for the pigs.
Right. And they don't realize how big they get, so then they can't handle it anymore, so they take it to the rescue
Obviously,
place.
somebody is like, they don't realize how good they taste.
One day.
Right.
People get.
Why do we need to rescue them? Why
People
don't we
give 'em-
hunt them?
Let's eat them.
Can you imagine you're like an evil rescuer and you just collect the pigs and then you take them to the butcher?
Yeah, that's
Terminator.
horrible.
What,
You got a big
what are we
carnitas
on now?
stand and a fucking. Bring them to me.
Right.
Yeah, well, people got. It's a really heartfelt thing they do.
Of
So,
course we're just making jokes, of
Right,
course.
we're making
Of course.
jokes.
I actually
Totally supportive of 100%.
This guy is just
right?
naturally fun.
Yeah, I actually like animals, so.
Oh no, they're tasty.
Jesse,
Oh boy.
I mean, have you eaten a cow?
Let's just say pets are basically the only. They're the
we
animals
gotta go
that
to
just
dinner.
aren't.
All right, we're going to dinner.
Taste it.
All right. Leaving the State Theater. Man.
You're welcome. All right, we're going straight
Do you have a
across the
card or
street
something?
there.
No, I don't do cards.
I don't either.
I don't do cards. I've never had a card.
Do you need my jacket?
All right.
Should we just wrap it up now?
I think so.
Yeah.
Once Dave Little throws the backpack on the shoulder, it's time to go.
We're leaving the State Theater. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. So much fun.
Nice seeing you.
All right.
Everyone, safe travels.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Yes, you too.
Real quick.
All right.
All right. Wow, what an experience, man. Thanks, guys. Good night. Good night. Thank you. All right.
So maybe a pit stop here on the bus for a second. Is it food time, Dave?
Yeah, I think food and drink.
Food and
I don't know
drink
if
time?
anybody on this tour likes to drink. I do.
Dave's ready to roll.
Dave likes red wine.
Red wine.
I apologize to the two listeners that had to hear that.
What?
Because you guys
We were
horrible.
harmonizing.
No, that's not what harmonizing is.
Dave can play some music. He's got an ear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Give me a bar, brah.
He plays some guitar.
Dave, give me a
He
bar.
does some picking and singing every now and then.
No?
I do. Are we going over here?
I'm following them. He must be going straight to something.
He's going right to the hotel,
Looks
right to the
like-
steak place.
Is the restaurant? Is this? No. Yes. That door's closed.
Should we, Vic, should we wrap up this podcast?
I think so.
And then we'll have
Let's
a nice
have a
little
meal.
dinner with Ron White and the gang? All right. We're outside the State Theater in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Ron White crushed it. Vic Henley crushed it. For real, you crushed
Easy
it.
money on the road, man. Really fun.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to get
Yes,
dinner.
yeah.
Then you're jumping on the
Yeah,
tour bus,
we got
and I'm driving back to New York City. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna want to throw this away.
Vic, say wrap it up, Joey.
Wrap it up, Joey.
Thank you, sir. So there you have it, a little backstage peek at Vic and Ron's show. Let's shout out a few people on Twitter. At Patron Nick 328, Joe_the Taco for buying some of my songs at Amazon. Thank you, Joe. And also at Tony Burkhart. A special thank you to at Sports Meets Beer for helping to make Carl's bracket tournaments on Twitter and Gram a big success. I know I had a lot of fun with that. Stay tuned for more. By the way, they also have a podcast, so you should check that out. And if you're not following Carl Ruiz at Sabor Chef on Instagram or Twitter, you ain't living. Please leave us a 5-star review and subscribe at Apple. Follow Vic Henley at Twitter and Gram as well, but don't expect him to follow you back. He can give 2 fucks. Grab some merch at OpieRadio.com. Check out his sunrise broadcasts on Gram and Facebook. Jesus, I'm a talking billboard. And thanks again for downloading this free podcast from the Westwood One Podcast Network's Opie Radio.
Westwood One Podcast Network's E&C's Pod of Awesomeness. Your hosts, Edge and Christian, talk wrestling.
We got the bruiserweight, man. Let's talk to Pete Dunne.
I remember just going to a local show in a pub. I remember just going up and asking afterwards, is there somewhere I can do this?
I love the fact that you were in a pub watching wrestling at 12 and then started training.
E&C's Pod of Awesomeness. Download it free and easy wherever you get your podcasts from the Westwood One Podcast Network.